Bumbo, ye lonks, ye laroob, Bubsy Gurna.
Uh, uh, Acting around is new.
Hooba doo Briga, Ew, Ebby Nargo, Ubi Dalla.
Hagadoonie. Shagadoo.
Ugh, Cubby Jets. Oh,
Torplurga loobsy. Snurg. Nib.
Ebby Gronk.
Vukarupa.
Uh-huh. Tabibna. Ibnu. Inasna. Vanabras. Isnub. Hidagushnot.
Dubaya.
Noopy Narky. Noopy Narky Lee.
Lufaga. Sibo.
Dag.
Skiba Hartunia.
Oh, Bagalucci. Oh, Baza.
Phoebe Looney. Oh, Phoebe Looney. Oh, no. Savvy Wibba.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to MySims Kingdom. We're here in Spookane, or Spookane. Is it pronounced like, Spokane or Spokane in Washington? I don't know how it's... I've heard it's Spokane. I don't know anyone from there. But I've heard Spokane and Spokane, and it's spelled like Spokane, so that's what I've been saying my whole life, but... Anyone want to correct me, you can do that, and I will adjust my behavior accordingly. But this is Spookane. I will continue calling it that, because why not? This is a fake place in a video game, so I don't feel bad about saying it wrong. Anyway, here we are talking to Goth Boy, who I love that that's his name. When you first meet him, you know, sometimes before you learn their names, their name tag will be like question marks or just like, you know, crazy bitch. It won't be that, but you know what I mean. And it'll be a description of them. So that's what I thought when I first played this game, what was happening. I thought it was like, oh, this is a goth boy, and I'm gonna learn his name is like Krevin or something. But no, his name's not Krevin. His name is Goth Boy. That is his Christian name. Well, probably not. That's his given name. This is what his parents called him. That'd be really sick if you had a baby and you called it Goth Boy, or just like in general pronounced that your baby is going to be goth. But yeah. Or, I mean, I guess maybe it's not even the decision of the parents. Maybe some babies, they just come out wearing black eyeliner. Anyway, I fucked it up. I'm horrible at reading emotional cues from Goth Boy, so I took a wrong turn somewhere here, and then you gotta start the whole process over again. But, you know, you throw some bats at him, and you talk about sonnets. That's the thing, it took me a while to think of what poems he would like. I forgot that poetry was like a thing that he does. It's like a recurring thing that he talks about. I thought that it was just a one-off or whatever, but no. But, anyway. But yeah, I like this level. I think it's cool. A little bit premature. We're not quite in Halloween time yet when I'm putting this up, but, you know, we're basically in that season. The Halloween decorations are out, so, you know, in stores and stuff. The Halloween candy's been out for like a month, but at least where I live. Some place, like, back where I grew up, sometimes the grocery stores would start having Halloween stuff, like, right after the 4th of July.
Chupili Gambu. Traxi. Monkong. No T Glee. If Flipsy Moo. Nibby. Pretty Petalebi. Mula Bawua.
I enjoy Morcubus. He's a funny character. I've talked about it before, but I do enjoy a lot of the humor in this game. None of it is like riotously funny, obviously, and obviously it was a lot funnier to me when I was a kid. But a lot of it does have a certain charm to it, and I think like some good timing, as much timing as there can be in a thing where it's just text that you click at your own leisure to advance. We got some eyeball trees. The goths. I wonder what they do with eyeballs on this island. I wonder if they if it's a crop. I mean, it grows on a tree, so do they eat it? Do they is it like palm oil? They make some kind of lotion out of it. But yeah, in general, I like Spookane, even though it's a little bit lengthy, I don't know. Actually, I don't have that many knocks on it. I remember not liking it very much and like thinking it was hard when I was a kid, and I really didn't have that experience when I was playing it. It flew by, honestly. I was prepared for it to take a long time, but you don't even. It's pretty generous with the essences. Like, I didn't find myself having to grind all that much. And it's a pleasant place, even though it's death, but it's cute. And a lot of the characters are pretty funny. You have especially we're gonna meet a character later named Carl, who his like dryness was the funniest thing for me out of this level. I also like the Morcubus stuff. We're gonna see more of him toward the end, as you can well imagine. That's the whole point. We're getting up to his castle. I also think Goth Boy has some good moments of like dry humor. That's usually where the game kind of gets me. It makes me chuckle more. I love saying chuckle. But is when they go for like the kind of more dry humor, sarcastic humor. The stuff where, like, Buddy is being an idiot is the kind of stuff that you find in a lot of kids' entertainment that I don't find very funny. But, and not every show or game or movie for families or children gets this right. But I do think that, in general, for my own personal taste, I think the kind of... When those kinds of things do, like, drier humor... If it's something that the rest of the humor doesn't really work for me, like SpongeBob, I think gets the earlier seasons manage more like quote unquote sophisticated humor, but not always necessarily dry. I think a lot of the broad humor and vulgar humor is also funny, but in stuff like this where everything else is just kind of I could take or leave as an adult. It's those moments that I find myself the most enjoying the most. Anyway, now we're looking for shiny things, which are just chunks of stuff. And I actually wish there were more parts like this where, like, instead of, just building things for people, you did more stuff like this where there's a little bit of a platforming aspect to it. I didn't mean to make this big huge one, but hey, it works. There's like a platforming aspect to it. You can it's kind of open-ended in terms of how you want to do it. There's no real like right way, I guess. I mean, there's places where you can put stairs, but you can also just like hop around and stuff. You don't have to be that weird about it. It's better than the ones where you like the one with the cat in the tower and shit, where you just have to make a way down and then they have to follow you, or it has to follow you. I guess it's just that cat one. I wish they had more parts like this where it was just kind of an open area where you can conjure up stuff and use that to, even if it was just something like this where you're just collecting stuff that's scattered about. It's a little more fun than, just here's a scroll, collect a bunch of essences, make me a house with all my favorite things. because you get a lot of those. But this, on top of the humor and the look and the mood and everything, I do think you get a decent variety of kinds of tasks, and you pretty much get all of the kinds of tasks that this game has to offer for the most part. You know, we are going to build a... I don't think actually we're going to build it from scratch, but we're going to remodel a house, a building. We're gonna do some gear stuff. We're gonna do... we did socializing. We're doing collecting stuff now for someone. We're gonna do, you know, you have an open space and you put all their favorite shit there. All kinds of malarkey. So, you know, you get a pretty good... you know, bang for your buck for when you paid for this level specifically. Dumbass, why did I say that? Anyway, we have now bribed Yuki with gold, basically. She said shiny things, but they were all just chunks of gold. So, yeah. I mean, gold is shiny, that's true. And gotta pull up those dandelions. I like the ghosts. Once again, what do they do with the essence of ghost? Or voodoo dolls? Like, are they voodoo dolls, or are they the essence of a voodoo doll? That's the thing, that's the weird... That's something that I always, like, found kind of odd about this game growing up, was that... And the original MySims, for that matter... the essences that, like, when it gets to stuff like that, where it's like electro chip or computer, I mean, forget about the ones that are just concepts like happy or whatever, but like when it's like things, and it's not necessarily the thing itself, but it is the essence of the thing. Some interesting epistemological questions to be said from that, but not by me. Anyway, here's Zombie Carl. I'll let you watch this for a sec.
Aha, Opana sneak.
Ibitonga Darn, Chizaka, Ho,
Lexnor Bunubi.
Bipso na Anifi,
Hixifiba.
Sigalurinka,
Ixanova?
Alu, Hibby, Chibs, Binucky, Midorgo, Fribbity, Jibbity, Snip.
Ikanang? Orla?
Do Norby flu.
Yeah. Sinua,
Donga Lumusn.
Lufago, Wazibo.
I like Carl, and I feel for him. You know, you want a sick pad. I understand. I wish that I could make my my current living situation more attuned to the vibe that I want. You know, I guess that's the quest of humanity. That's the struggle of life, is to try to make the space around you to be vibrating on the same frequency as you. Anyway, nice little thing of tombstones to protect him. Get rid of these mushrooms because they don't add anything to your stuff, and it's free mana, so might as well suck them up. I decided to tackle the cute thing first, and probably didn't need to do this. This is probably not the most economical way of achieving that. But hey, you know, you give me a vague outline and you want me to just put a bunch of shit in a square, well then I'm just gonna put a bunch of shit in a square. I'm not really gonna think about it all that much. I'm just gonna do it till the numbers go up until I'm done, and do whatever tickles my fancy. And yeah, you can't do any water stuff, you can't do any of the That's the thing with the party category, is that you have to plug all that shit in, which you could do. There is a wheel there that has an axle that I could put a gear and then a electrical box or a water box. Well, I don't know if you could do water. Well, I could do a water pump. That's what you do. That's the water box. Anyway, I could do that, but who the fuck wants to do that? Who has the time? Certainly not me. So right as I was starting recording this video, and I wrote this down in my notes app of things to say during the video that I have for every video that I make to ruin the mystique for you. Although I've talked about that before, who cares? But I this was like 2 weeks ago that I put this in my notes app, and it will always be relevant. Which is if you've watched my videos for a while, and especially if you've watched streams of mine, you've probably at least once heard me complain about the people who live above us in our apartment building, not the people themselves. So on the off chance that they're watching this or they can hear me, I don't mean you, and I'm not trying to be mean. And the reason is because so basically, the people of us make a bunch of noise. For the whole time, we lived here for 2 years, and the whole time that we've lived here, the people above us are always, like, stomping. The most normal sounds they make are just stomping very loudly. But also stuff that sounds like them, like, slamming really heavy things on the ground, or, like, scooting them on the ground as if they're moving very heavy furniture. But it's all the time. It's like, very frequent pretty much every day for at least some amount of time. And it has occurred at all hours of the day. Just recently, a couple days ago, there was this sound that they were making for, like, 5 straight minutes and it sounded like they were, like, rolling a bowling ball around on the floor or something. And also the sound of what sounded like maybe, like, drilling the wall, and the sound of something, like, being threaded through the wall, like a long thing. It's hard to explain what it sounded like, but that's what I'm talking about. It's just noises where I don't get it. I don't know what they could be doing. And I don't know if they're being normal or not, because I really would like to, like, go downstairs to the apartment directly below us and, like, have Liv walk around and, like, maybe, like, scoot the couch or something, or, you know, do the noisiest things that are, like, normal that we do all the time in the house. That I could conceivably, you know, I could see that they would make a lot of noise, and see if it sounds like what we hear, because I kind of think it wouldn't, but I don't know. I don't know. But it's the thing that mostly confounds me is that this has been the case with we've gone through like 4 groups of people living in that apartment in the 2 years that we've lived here, and this has been the case with all of them. And all of them have, you know, some of them have few different sounds, but the stomping and the sounding like they're moving huge shit around all the time. And it is all the time, I must emphasize. It's just very confounding, and I don't know why it happens. And I don't know what they're doing, and it's all the time, and sometimes you can hear it on recording. It has to be pretty fucking loud to hear on recording. And I have, you know, decent noise cancellation on Audacity. Like, the default settings I use are usually pretty good, so you usually don't hear them in these videos, but sometimes, and on streams sometimes, and certainly when I'm just sitting around, I hear it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's just or like be like, arg, my neighbors Dinkelberg, you know, like, just bitch. I guess I am bitching, but I mostly am just trying to express my befuddlement, you know? It's not so much like, how dare there be noise? Because there's all kinds of noise all the fucking time where I live. I live in a city. But, yeah. Whatever. Also, I've noticed, I guess, I have to go back and see if it's the case all the time, but I remember it being a thing, at least on the Wii, the frame rate gets, like, noticeably better when you're inside, like a building. I also remember, and I'm not sure because I haven't played the original in a long time and I haven't played it on the Wii in a long time, but I remember this one having like a slightly less like crisp frame rate than the first one, and I think it has to do with the fact that the first game has a lot more interiors that you do stuff in, and the world is pretty small. Not just in terms of numbers of locales, but like the overall size of the whole game world. And there's usually like considerable loading times between the like 3 main sections of the overworld. And there's also short loading times for every time you go in a building. So I guess that's the trade-off, is that there's shorter load times in this, but the game doesn't always run quite as smoothly as the first one. The game looks fine on PC, the first MySims. Anyway, I kind of like this one because it's not just building some shit from scratch. You have a building to work with, but you're just making the front yard a little more deadly looking and changing up the paint. And I like that you're making a happy, cute cookie shop into a bleak cookie shop of death. I like how you don't have to change the product. Like goth people love cookies. Like they're not completely joyless, but they just don't want to be. They don't want it all pink and yellow and happy shit. They want to be upset when they eat the cookie. But they still like them. They still like cookies. They still want to eat them. But yeah, I kind of talked over all the Grandma Posey, or whatever her name is. It's not Posey. I talked over that stuff, wasn't really paying attention. Buddy wasted no time summoning those fucking demons in that square. What the hell? Or circle. I'm sorry. Yeah, he just popped right to it. Look at him. There's ghosts coming out of him. It's crazy, Buddy. Buddy was ready to speak to the spirits, and I fucked up the spacing. Whoopsie.
Oh, Phoebe Lele.
So I don't really have much to say about this. Hi, hey, how's it going, everybody? I could just not say anything, but I don't know. I'm in a good mood for recording right now, for whatever reason. I'm doing this a day later than I was planning on doing. I was gonna do Wednesday. I'm retrying my original uploading schedule thing of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I have fucking failed once again. I immediately just didn't have any time on Wednesday and just had to do this today. I had the video ready, but I, had the whole day at work. I had my own stuff I had to do, and then we had a friend over, and then it was very nighttime, so yeah. Wasn't going to record a 30-minute video. A 30-plus minute video. She is absolutely killing that look, Grandma Ruthie. A very good makeover for her. I'm glad we could help. And I'm glad that we can now appease the Yuki, the XD RAR 2000s like scene Tumblr girl. I guess I shouldn't say scene. I remember when I was growing up, all the scene kids I knew would be pedantic about being called goth versus scene, and vice versa with goth people or whatever. Or so they claimed. These were just the people I hung out with. I don't know if this is gospel for goth and scene people. Gothbul, if you will. Terrible joke. You can unsubscribe from me now. Anyway, here we're gonna talk to Porcubus.
Bazaar!
Stand by do. Stand by do. Taria Sabutu. Pliguyo binky hay.
Oh, redesigning.
Zablu. Ooh. Niso Tifibo. Kabuli. Wala Fina Cirque.
Ooh, what?
Mulabao.
Is it like a moment like that, the way they cut the laugh off? That's funny. Yeah, like I said, it gave me a chuckle. I chuckled. So yeah, now we're gonna do the gear thing, and this is the part that I actually remembered the most from this level. When I was a kid, the thing that stuck with me was this part, and I remember having trouble with it, and as you will see, I do it very quickly. This is probably the only time that, I mean, I'm sure it's not like the absolute best way, but this is the first time in this run where I've been fairly confident, like, no, this is probably the best that I could come up with in terms of, like, conserving mana and not making everything an overly complicated Rube Goldberg machine, which is fun, but kind of wasteful and often looks bad. But yeah, fucking bada bing, bada boom. And then, yeah, just do this. So yeah, I think I kind of snapped with this one, honestly. I think I kind of fucking nailed it, if I'm being honest.
Her nerve verba. Zerby's happy.
There you go, gotta use the old noodle, that's all. I was gonna start saying another thing, but yeah, we're already done with this, and the level's gonna be over after we talk to Succubus. So, not even gonna bother. I'm not gonna do myself in like I did at the end of that B-movie game video where I tried to do my epic cold take about people shitting on Avatar, a movie that I don't even like enough to go to bat for fully, but yeah, I decided to start talking about that when there was like less than 2 minutes in the video, and it was like, I don't know why I do this to myself.
Skiba Hartuni Art Ziba.
No Tigli. Ni
Lufago. Zebo.
Haluka Sabu. Abaniso Memzi Gobo Yabu Memzi. Chaka Asi. Chaka Stand by do. Stand by do. I. Chabadu. Do.
We'll be a noodle. Dag.
Ragar.
Dag. Bah.
Chamba do spurgle.
In the zoo.
OMG. They pulled the Kung Fu Panda Dragon Scroll switch 'em up. There is no secret ingredient. That actually came out the same year as this game, that movie. Like 4 months before it. So confirmed, MySims Kingdom stole this idea from Kung Fu Panda, who definitely didn't steal it from anything else. It's very late in the video, but one thing that I do want to mention real quick that is on my mind in the immediate moment is that the Matrix 4 trailer came out today, and I did not watch the whole thing because I really don't need any convincing, and I want to go in with not very many preconceptions. But everyone's been sharing screenshots and GIFs, of course, so I've seen those, and I am extremely hype. And it's the first like big studio blockbuster movie I've been hyped for in like 5 years, so very excited. I'll talk about it more at some other point. Anyway, next time I'm going to try to fit in both Trevor Island and the Uncharted Isle, so see you then for that.